Hey, have you ever been visited by a witch?
Yeah, have you?
Yes.
No. I've been told I'm a
Now,
witch. Oh no.
are we talking mythical witches or real witches?
Actually, she was a real witch.
Yeah,
Now she's dead.
Amy's a real witch, but
Amy's a witch. She's a coven-based witch.
Yes.
I guess
But I met the old authentic witches,
like
not present day.
Mm. You mean the ones that were burned at Salem?
Yeah, those types, or the ones that were
Oh,
still
wait. A
really
lot of them
cute,
were not witches. A lot of them were just people.
that were accused to be a witch.
Yeah. Now my question
Exactly.
is, okay, if you're accused of being a witch, whether you tell them you're a witch or not, they were still gonna kill you.
Right.
So
Because there was no based evidence on
Exactly.
whether or not you were a witch or not. Now, do you know all the different types of witches there are?
no, not really.
Good witches, bad witches, evil witches.
The wicked
No,
witch.
no.
Oh, you're not talking about those witches.
No.
Not the movie style witches?
No, I'm talking real life witches.
Well, the one I get visited by, as you heard from the spirit box the other day, Emma, she was actually a good witch.
Okay, but there's a lot of different ways of being a good witch.
Right.
There's different ways she performs her magic.
Exactly.
So if we're going to break that down into the basis of good witches and bad witches, there's good and bad in every form, every style.
But every good witch knows bad magic.
Exactly.
But
Now
every bad witch knows good.
we can move. I can list at least a lot. There's witches that are based coven based witches. They participate with other witches, and they do they combine their magical powers and skills to create a stronger, bigger spells and manifest outcomes for the group and beyond. Covens focus on more ceremonial and ritual magic. But that's not the only kind of witches and magic, is it?
So that type of magic you're talking about is like in the movie The Covenant.
Yeah, where they all
witchcraft.
Where they're like they all pull their power into one.
I can't think of what the name of the movie was.
The
Craft.
Yeah.
The Craft, where
4 witches use their spells.
Yep, and 3 of them turned on one, and the one that they turned on was a true born witch, not a
self-taught.
Right.
Self-taught witch. She was a true born witch. And when they turned on her, the gods and the goddesses were mad because she used her power to help them, and they turned on her.
Right.
Now we got the solitary witch, which if she went to join that coven, she would have been considered a solitary witch because she worked alone. A solitary witch can follow one particular branch of witchcraft or a combination, which means that they're not out there like doing a whole horde of putting their power in with other people. What they're doing is they're doing it by themselves, and they're focusing on more self-based things.
Right. They're doing it for their own intent to either A, help.
Yep. Now, we do have the hereditary, which once again, she was a hereditary, and they are someone who inherited their powers or their practices through their family line.
Exactly.
My gaming, right?
Well, yeah, they're like practical. It's like practical magic.
No.
Someone who inherited. Yeah, they inherited. I can't say that word.
Here.
Inherited that magic, and um, they can go good or bad, or in between. You got crystal witches, which are the ones that uses crystals, gems, rocks, and stones, and they practice crystal magic to manifest, amplify, and attract energy. If you see auras, feel energies, love shiny things, and enjoy making grids, then you could be a crystal witch, which my son is. My son. He has a lot of special gifts, but like he's always playing with my crystals because he sees the aura of them and he feels them and whatnot.
Then you got the ones that use the elements.
Yep, that's an
Earth,
elemental witch.
Earth, wind, fire, water, and
Earth, air, fire, wind, water. Yeah. Uh, you got your cosmic witch, which are the stargazers, the ones that
Yep.
use the stars, birth chart. Numerology is a big one. Moon cycles. They focus on the moon cycles.
So,
They use like the universe.
question:
Yes.
would that make Adolf Hitler a witch?
Possibly.
For the simple reason when he used the phases of the moons or the solar system to make his to say when he's going to attack.
He very well could because he felt more power from like a full moon than he did from a waxy moon. Or waxy, he used the moon cycles to base off of his powers. You have the Green Witch, which is somebody that they draw their power, tools, and rituals from the earth and the great outdoors and use plants, flowers, and herbs.
Did you say Green Witch?
Yeah, green. Green.
I thought that was only in the Wizard of Oz.
No. Like they're not green. They're more of an earth witch.
Then you got the witches from Hocus Pocus.
Yep.
They were actually true life witches.
Right. But what did they base their witchcraft off of?
Children.
Which is a total different thing. You got hedge witches. A hedge witch is a very, very similar to a green witch, but is not as solely focused on nature. A hedge witch works alone and doesn't adhere to any strict dogma, religious, spiritual, or otherwise. Hedge witches develop their own kinds of magic, focusing primarily on creating healing remedies and often working with the elements, nature, crafts, and herbalism. Everything is kept simple and basic, and all of the rituals are non-fussy and minimalist. If you are drawn to a solitude of and wish to craft your own brand of witchcraft unique to you, then you might be a hedge witch. And basically, what they're saying is there's somebody that ain't out there, a lot of spells. They use like a bunch of different tools, and you got to say like some long ass fucking paragraph that is hard to remember for people who can't remember shit disease. So basically, what the hedge witch is somebody who's like they focus on the healing, and they use like salves and balms. I guess you could say witch doctor. That's what they are. It's kind of like a witch doctor. Um, which again, then you got the plant witch, which likes like green witches. Once again, plant witches work with plants. They practice might focus on the connection with nature. They may study the history, tradition, and cultural association of different plants and herbs, as well as use them in rituals, potions, and spells. But that goes along the lines of like using chia seeds to lose weight. Um, Basically, they focus on the history of that plant and they learn the facts about plants like aloe vera. Aloe vera is good for everything. Um, so yeah, they use that a lot. You got gray witches, which are the people that they're in between white and black magic, using whatever suits their situation. They will use curses and hex when the situation calls for it. When many witches will not go there. Witchcraft typically follows an ethic of working for the highest good. Gray witches typically seek justice and the correction of unfair circumstances, redirecting bad energy to where it should have gone in the first place. They will often call on the unseen spirit presence to help them. If you are drawn to the darker arts or feel you're fighting a greater evil in the world, maybe you are a gray witch. Which, again, is very true.
Okay, now you know my situation from Michigan,
Yes,
especially with Seven Gables.
right.
So you know about Emma, the witch that was out there.
Right.
Now, two people I took out there. Do you think they bonded that witch to me?
Possibly. Or you did it yourself without knowing it. Or the witch did it themselves without knowing it. Or on purpose. I mean, it all depends.
Because
Binding, like in the craft, it took a lot to bind somebody to a certain somebody. You literally have to use ribbon, a picture of them, and repeat the words, I bind you blank. And you can say from doing harm from other people, da 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 da, or you can say, I bind you blank to blank. So you can bind them together.
well, the thing is, ever since I went out there and understood her story, I kept having her appear in my dreams.
She could have liked your energy or your aura when you went out there.
Well,
You
the
could have
thing,
had the same aura as she did, and she visited you in your sleep because of the simple fact that it was easier to get through your subconscious while you're sleeping than when you're awake.
or was it easier because I understood her?
Both. That's an either or. It could have been because you understood her, but it also
Are you going out, Missy?
Yeah, honey.
I got to
be
try.
careful.
I am.
I'll get it.
Okay. While he's doing that, we're going to continue on with the witches. We have the electric witch, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Electric witches tend to cherry pick whatever practices, rituals, beliefs, or ideas feel natural and good to them in the moment. After all, witchcraft is a very personal and unique pursuit. If you don't want to be tied down to any one practice or area, maybe you're electric witch. many baby witches begin as electric witches, but many stay that way too. Which I think that's more what I am, because I'm not just a candle witch, and I'm not just a sex witch, and I'm not a green witch. I don't have a I don't have a certain one I stick to. But I never do negative. I only do positive. So I'd be a white electric witch. Which, once again, witchcraft goes from family to family to family, or you can just. And I've always been into witchcraft. And so, I mean, I knew from
Okay,
a baby.
here's a question for you.
Yes.
One in mind.
I would say you would be on the forms of an electric witch.
Well, the reason why is because I have mixed light and dark magic together.
Well, that would be a gray witch. But an electric witch is kind of like a gray witch. You just don't believe, you don't focus solitary on one thing or another. Like it says, as long as it feels good to you at that time. So, and you don't want to be tied down to one or any practice.
Okay. Now maybe I should explain what I'm talking about.
And you're more of a scattered brain person, and you don't like being tied down. You're afraid of commitment.
I've been committed to the old lady for 23 years or 22 years.
That's not a commitment.
Here's what I'm talking about. Mixing white magic with black magic to make gray magic.
Right. So once again, you'd be a gray, you participate in gray witches, but you could also be an electric witch.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that whoever watches this in the future understood what I was getting at.
Yeah. Basically, what he's saying is he participates with black magic and he participates with white magic, and he can do white and black at the same time, which would make it gray. But what I'm saying is he also don't focus on just gray. He don't focus on white, and he don't focus on
Black,
dark, because he also focuses on tools, whatever tools he needs to use or whatever. And it doesn't matter. He can switch from candles. He can switch from elementals. He can switch from rocks. It's not set in stone on what he's going to use at that point in time. So he'd be a solitary electric gray witch because he doesn't practice with a coven. Does that make sense?
I hope it makes sense to him.
That could be. I continue.
No, because I'll probably interrupt you later on,
That's fine.
like always.
We have folk witch, which is a folk witch practices folk magic passed down through their family or their local community. They often focus on a history and origin of a practice and may work with plants and objects that are native to their location.
Basically, like the witches in Salem.
Yeah, and folklore. A lot of folklore has a lot of magic in it. So if you practice from the folklore of your ancestors or the folklore of the community of which you live in, and the history of that magic, which people who love history and love magic, you'd be a folk witch, a baby witch. Baby witch is a term you might have seen frequently used on Witch Talk, which is TikTok, but Witch Talk, are simply beginner witches. They may start off following a certain doctrine depending on their teachers, and then over the time experiment with other ones. You got to go your own way, which that's all witchcraft. Baby witches are just people that are starting up.
So since there's a baby witch, is there an adult witch?
Every other one I've listed except for baby witch.
I just had to fuck with you. And so,
Now, here's the thing. What's a kitchen witch?
ones that use like chickens.
You fucking crazy in your head. I said kitchen, not chicken.
Oh, kitchen?
Yes.
They use items and like spices from your kitchen area.
A kitchen witch focuses on the kitchen, yes. They incorporate magic into cooking and baking, and they might choose herbs for the magical properties just as much as for their taste. Kitchen witches might prepare meals for specific holidays, purposes, or rituals to share with the community or coven. Now, somebody who really loves cooking and is like really good at it just out of nowhere, they may be a kitchen witch. And a kitchen witch can use those herbs for, like, let's say you use thyme, rosemary, thyme, or I said thyme, chia seeds, any of those things. They use it to help benefit somebody based off the simple fact that they themselves
Can cook.
A hearth witch focuses on the home and might also be a kitchen witch or a green witch. Hearth witchery often involves focusing on objects and rituals used around the home, like herbalism, candle magic, and ritual cleaning. They focus mainly on in the house things. Hermits are great ones of a hearth witch.
What about gypsies?
I would have to say gypsies are in their own league. House witch, similar to hearth witch. House witch focuses on making their house a magical space. Cooking, cleaning, and performing harmony. No, it's homie. Rituals.
Homie.
Whether you prefer
That's another person, ain't it?
No, HOMEY, like homie. This place feels homey. Who the fuck is calling me? Hold on.
Now it's perfect time to take a break for station identification.
Would you stop?
You are here with the Braxes and the hippity hop that don't know what she's doing, except for listening to annoying ringtones on her phone.
Well, it might be your daughter, Chris.
Yeah, but I said annoying ringtones. I didn't say annoying daughter.
I know that, but I'm saying, oh my God.
And pretty soon we will be back. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, I was told, Chris, that
She's laughing at me now.
maybe
I guess I'm going to have to strip down naked and run around the room.
I was told I was the witch, but I don't know. And now that Tanya said something about home,
She's crying so hard, she's starting to tear up, guys. She's going to explode. No!
really? Chris,
The fountain's turning on. Now she got snot going everywhere all over her keyboard.
Chris,
And this is a sight you cannot believe, guys. What?
you're a dork. You are a dork, literally. I was trying to say when she said about cooking with spices.
Yeah.
What do? I make tea with my different spices. But there's
Yeah.
a difference. There's health benefits to that shit.
She's losing her mind. Look at her. She's running around like a chicken with her head cut off. And she has me come in through her ear and she can't stop laughing about it.
She's laughing.
No, somebody just did something fucking huge.
What?
I can't tell you online, but Poppy, when you see this, I thank you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Poppy, you're awesome.
really awesome.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Wow.
Back to ceremony.
Schedule program with Froggy on her lily pad.
Let's return back to the subject at hand. Ceremonial witches. Yep, you guessed it. That is what it's all about, the drama of the ceremony. They focus on ceremonial magic and high magic, which often involves more elaborate and specific routines.
Making people wet
Yeah.
and come out of control.
Yeah. Sea
Like
witches.
Christopher, stop.
Sea witches have special connections to the ocean. They practice water magic using seawater. Bring shells home for the altar. Sex witches.
Froggy.
They are the witches that celebrate. They use sex.
Froggy uses sex all the time.
Yeah.
You can say Froggy has sex on the brain.
Almost.
Almost.
It involves working on arousal and orgasms during manifesting, either pretend or solo, partnered or solo, cultivating self-love in all forms, and working to see sexuality as a sacred thing.
That's mostly all guys. They perform self to each other because they can't get it any other way.
Right.
Drop
Oh, fuck.
silverware.
Yes. I know. I get it.
Yes, go on, Froggy.
Oh, I'm renewing my membership real quick to Draco's channel.
Oh.
So just give me 2.5 seconds.
1,000, 2 1,000, 3.
I'm done.
So you
Yes.
must-
Okay. So anybody, if please go like Draco Martin's channel, subscribe to him, join his channel. You get a really cute emote that
Are you going to help me?
you get
God, you're gonna help me pick up.
yeah, you get a froggy. If you join this channel, you can get a froggy emote. Yes. So make sure you go join this channel. One that I haven't seen here is there we go. Elemental witches include things like forest witches, sea witches, storm witches, etc. Elemental witches work closely with the 4 or 5 elements in their practice. They may be drawn to a specific element, such as sea work, who works with the power of water, or they may work with the element of equal balance.
See that, Froggy?
What is that? Oh,
Part of the door.
She really fucked that door up.
I told you.
So yeah, electrical witches are people who mainly picks and chooses what they want, what they're going to use, what they're going to do. There's no uh truth, they don't focus on
Give me a Froggy, I can hear you.
yeah, I know you can. They don't focus on things like they should, or like a certain degree or anything. They just work on themselves. I gotta go tell my son to get to bed. So describe what witchcraft means to you while I'm gone.
This is awesome. You're not even in there.
I know. Huh?
I did shit. Fuck up. Fuck up. God damn it.
What, Missy?
Chris hasn't been out there. He knows you're on there.
You got this.
All right, I am back. Uh, what is an angel work? An angel witch?
One that uses the power of the angels.
Yes. An animist witch.
Huh?
An animist witch.
What?
What is it?
That's why I'm asking you. I've never heard of it.
A witch who believes there is a life in all things and sees no distance between human, plants, animals, and material objects. The animist witch sees the universe as a living entity and all are connected by it.
Ah.
What is a Celtic witch?
Oh. A Scottish witch?
No, it's someone who focuses on Celtic and Welsh deities, mythology, rituals, and earth magic.
You know how to sum all this up and be able to use all this? Use sage magic.
Just go. Just go. We're recording. I love you. Chaos witch. A witch who has contemporary practice that incorporates many types of magic, is guided intuitively rather than strict steps as seen in high magic. I'd be more of the chaos. I think I would. An Egyptian witch. A witch who follows the path similar to Wicca but focuses on the Egyptian deities. You asked about that one earlier.
Yeah.
Fairy witch, a witch who works with the Fae, rooted in Irish and Scottish culture.
Sure.
A guardian witch, a witch who practices the secret, formal, and highly structured version of Wicca based on the works of Gerald Gardner, who is credited for modern witchcraft movement. Okay, so in order to understand this one, you have to understand that Lucifer, as the bringer of light, and reverses the angel for enlightenment, independence, questionary authorities, and progressive ideas. Okay, so Lucifer is the bringer of light. Lucifer is the fallen angel. We need to discuss Lucifer a little bit for people to understand this one. Because
he's known as the devil to some people.
yes, he is, but at the same point in time, he was a fallen angel. Okay, Lucifer was a fallen angel. The fact that literally there's so many different TV shows with Lucifer in it, you have to go to the gods and deities. Okay, so his true name is Helel, Helel, or by his titles as saying the devil, the morning star, son of dawn, and child of God, is the fallen archangel of pride, sin, free will, and the stars. He is known by Christians as an angel who rebelled against God in the past and was expelled from paradise. Lucifer was one of the most powerful and indescribable beings created by God, and with his wisdom and beauty being described as perfect, he was worshipped by ancient people before. What is that?
Recording.
Let me see. That's not even for us. We're gonna have to call them and return it to sender. Don't touch it. So basically,
Hey.
Lucifer is the bringer of light, right?
Yeah.
So a Luciferian, which is somebody who believes Lucifer as the bringer of light and reverses the angel for enlightenment, independence, question authorities, and progressive ideas, because as we all know, Lucifer is the first one that told God no. Neo-pagan witch, an umbrella term for witches who practice newer forms of the craft, such as Wicca, guardianism, and all new earth-based customs.
Fuck.
What?
Broke a head off my dragon.
Oh shit! Super glue. Now here's my thing. If Lucifer is Satan, right? why do we have a satanic witch? A witch that lives by the 7 satanic tenets and is strongly against the
I can't.
constructs of a directional society. It has nothing to do with worshiping the Christian's idea of Lucifer. Devil worshipping does exist elsewhere under the broad realm of witchcraft. Neither is exclusive to one another.
You had it all crooked. Okay. I'm gonna try to straighten it out.
Chris, I think we need to just stop this and review it. Cut out all the nonsense bullshit.
Yeah, it's.
I-
Stop, Mom.
I'm trying to get the
I'm backing into it. And it's fucking off the angle.
I'm sorry.
It fucked up the angle. Back
Which
to-
now, since we talked about all the different forms of witchcraft, we can also talk about the magic that goes with it. Ceremonial magic, high magic, is a type of magic that depends heavily on book learning, precise, complicated rituals, and interact set of correspondence. A Froggy could never, because she stutters, she slurs,
And it's like that.
and she's not very good. I can't remember shit. Ceremonial magic is also high magic. It is meant to have a spiritual purpose rather than a practical one, although there could be some overlap in those two concepts. It involves improving the soul, which might include gaining divine knowledge, purification, the attraction of proper influence, and embracing one's destiny. Folk magic or low magic, historically, folk magic is the magic of the common folk. It has all manner of practical purpose, healing, attracting luck or love, driving away evil forces, finding lost items, bringing good harvest, fertility. Record of these practices are largely non-existent since practitioners were generally illustrated. Rituals were simple and probably involved over time. They involved every item, plant, material, coins, nails, wood, so forth. Folk magic is sometimes called low magic because it's a practical nature and because it associates with lower class.
Right.
Then you got witchcraft. Is a highly problematic term because it is of the different uses of the word today versus its historical uses in the West. Many magical practitioners are now calling themselves witches, and practice is a cross between ceremonial magic and folk magic. Workings are generally fairly simple, use common materials, and deepened upon emotions and intent rather than exact rituals. They may also borrow certain practices, such as spell casting, from ceremonial magic. Historically, however, witchcraft meant malevolent magic, and that is the reason it was prosecuted. Witches were thought to kill, maim, cause sterility, basically where you can't reproduce, blight crops, poison water, and bring general misfortune upon their targets. Witches and folk magicians were two different groups of people. Most people identified as witches were also accused falsely. White folk magicians were valued members of the community. So if you were a magician, you were valued, but if you were a witch, you were killed. Left and right hand magic. In short, left hand magic is limited by social conventions. It is often limited to beneficial magic and comes with warnings and of consequences for harmful workings. Right hand magic exists outside of social conventions and ignores taboo, often even gaining power from breaking them. Only people who consider themselves a right hand path generally use the terminology. Magical practitioners within satanic and Luciferian faith consider them of the left hand path, follows of Thelma may consider themselves either. So people who are left-handed, once again, is limited to some social conventions and is often limited to beneficial magic and comes with warning of consequences of harmful working. People who study and are practice satanic and Luciferian faith consider themselves on the left hand path, which means that they cannot do harm against other people.
Right.
Black and white magic are imperative in precise terms. Roughly speaking, they are used to differentiate magic practices with an intent that is not socially acceptable, various magic practices that are. Today, the dividing line is often between magic that is intended to harm and magic that is not. There are, however, a lot of practices that differ people disagree with, such as divination, justified harm, love magic, and so forth. Many magical workers avoid them the terms entirely. Which, once again, I do want to say that white magic is supposed to be like pure positive forms of magic, and black magic are the ones that are intended to harm other people and whatnot. But if we go down the line, white magic does what they're saying is that because white magic does not harm other people, you cannot use it for a love spell or justified harm or divination, which divination, back into a couple of chats ago, is dowsing rods, spirit box, tarot cards, pendulums, EMF pumps, anything that you use to talk to the spirits on the other side. So, if we're saying that divination is, or white magic does not involve any of those, but black magic does, a person who follows white magic cannot would not truly be a white magic. They would be more along the lines of gray magic, which is in between the both. See, I always believe that no matter what I put out in the universe, if it's going to harm or take from somebody, it is considered black magic. Or, but you're going to get that times 3. You're not going to get, you're going to get it back at you. to you times 3. You know?
Yep.
So if you do harm, you're going to get it times 3. Now, do you want to go into the archangels?
That's fine.
That's up to you. If you really want to get them that involved right now with them just learning about it.
Well, okay, so if you have any questions, make sure you type them down there. I will write them down and we will discuss them on the next one. And if you want to learn about the archangels, let us know. Because even though I'm probably weird, you'll always hear me call out to Archangel Michael to defend us. I do call out to as Archangel Azrael when I'm not feeling good or I'm in a lot of pain to take the pain away and heal me, because that's what Archangel does. Archangel Azrael does. He also deals with mental and emotional anxieties, which Raphael is the one I call for healing. When my shit's going crazy, I ask for Azrael. I mean, there's so many different ones with different belief systems. Also, I would love to hear what your guys's belief system is. And there is no right answer. There is no wrong answer, as we are all fundamentally on a different level of playing field. You know, we all have our own religion. We all have our own bases. So if you want to let us know what your religion is, and we can discuss it at any point in time, because I am all fair for all different forms of religion.
Learn to research quick for nothing.
We just ask that you guys be nice to each other. And
Right. We're not out here to have people go off and say, "Oh, that's not right," because it's their religion. We're not people like Logan Paul.
well, I wasn't going to say no names, but a lot of people are like that. I always had religion forced down my throat that I should believe in a certain way. I used to live with one of my friends who was a Jehovah's Witness, and if I did not participate in the meetings every week, I was threatened to be evicted because they didn't want no witches living with them. Well, you can't sit there and tell me that one religion is better than another religion, because everybody has their own belief systems. So make sure that you guys are nice to each other. And once again, I want to say a big thank you to Draco Martin. I will pull up his channel again. Draco Martin. You have truly made my night, and you have helped me in more ways than I could ever fucking thank you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to yours. Make sure you go comment, follow him, and say Froggy sent you. Anything else you would like to add, Abraxas?
So you mean I can't go over there and tell him Froggy forced me to come to you?
Oh, you could. He'd just say okay.
Telling us in 2 minutes, go over here.
Yeah. Froggy put a spell on me.
Yeah, I beat him. I said if he did come to you, I would go beat you.
Ooh, kinky.
Thanks for everybody watching this video. If you have any questions, like she said, let us know. You know, we're up to suggestions. Love and light to everybody. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Got any last words for him, Froggy?
I love every one of you. You are truly amazing. And remember, just because you have a belief system does not mean that it's wrong. but your belief system is your belief system, and don't shove it down somebody else's throat. Have a discussion about it, talk about it, but make sure you're nice to each other.
Exactly, and that's all we ask. Much love to each and every one of you guys that shows up on the replay. We do hope you loved this video, and we will see you on the next. Later.
Bye.
As soon as I can find the stop recording.